Here's your report.
Thanks, Jane. I wish I could hire a whole team of yous.
Try posting a job on LinkedIn. It's the world's largest professional network. Unlike resumes, LinkedIn gives a real-time view into a candidate's skills, experiences, and more.
Let's do it. You're irreplaceable, Jane, but another you would be great.
Find your perfect match with LinkedIn. Post your free job at linkedin.com/achieve. That's linkedin.com/achieve. Terms and conditions apply.
Are negative Google reviews hurting your business? Don't let unfair feedback cost you customers. At Webamax, we specialize in removing false, misleading, and damaging reviews so your online reputation stays strong. Our expert team works quickly and legally to clean up your digital presence, helping you rebuild trust. Visit us on the web at www.gowebamax.com. That's GOWEBIMAX.com, or text us for a free quote at 856-840-8343. Don't let bad reviews define you. Get immediate help from Webamax.
This episode is brought to you by Peacock. The new Peacock original documentary, Matthew Perry, A Hollywood Tragedy, dives deep into the beloved actor's rise to fame and his tragic death. 5 people, including Perry's personal assistant, 2 medical doctors, and an alleged Hollywood drug dealer known as the Ketamine Queen, were charged with conspiracy to illegally provide Perry with the ketamine. Explore the details of the case in this heartbreaking special, streaming now only on Peacock.
You've maxed out your 401k, you're contributing to an IRA, and making some other investments. You're ahead of the game and doing well. But where do you go from here? The same old story can only get you so far. If you want a new take from a new type of financial professional, we invite you to get a fresh perspective beside an agent with the backing of New York Life. Insurance, investments, retirement, and more. Visit NYL.com to learn more. Investments are offered through registered representatives of NYLife Securities, LLC, member FINRA SIPC, a New York Life company.
At T-Mobile, our critical mission is providing unparalleled 5G coverage for when connectivity is mission critical. Introducing T-Priority, America's best 5G network experience for first responders, even in times of congestion. More capacity, faster speeds, better coverage. T-Priority from T-Mobile, built for tomorrow's emergencies, ready today. Discover more at t-priority.com.
For qualifying organizations on eligible rate plans, coverage not available in some areas and may be impacted by emergencies.
What does Chris Franklin, Eagles beat reporter from NJ.com, think is going to come up this Eagles offseason? Welcome to the Eagles Checkdown, the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast. There is covering news, notes, and opinions on your favorite Philadelphia football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, your Super Bowl champion Eagles, right here on the Eagles Pin Pull Podcast Network. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. And guys, you can find me hosting Trending in the AM every Monday through Friday. Link down below in the description of this podcast. Guys, I had on Trending in the AM on Thursday, Chris Franklin, NJ.com, Eagles beat reporter. And again, you can go to the YouTube page linked below if you want to catch the full interview. But I'm basically going to spend today recapping some of the finer points, some of the details that he dropped, nuggets he dropped about some of the key decisions and key things facing the Eagles this offseason. First and foremost, he said something, when I was asking about patience and Howie Roseman's press conference and all, he said, do not expect a frenzy like last year's free agency. They spent $120+ million on Saquon, on Chauncey, on guys, a couple guys, Bryce Huff, this past offseason. Don't expect that. The core of this Philadelphia Eagles team, the core of the Super Bowl champion team is here. And their goal is to keep as many of those guys here. And that starts with the top name that's a free agent, and that is Zach Bond. And, Chris Franklin, being the politician type that he is, put like a 55 to 60% chance that Zach Bond stays. Now, he went into detail a couple things about Zach Bond. First off, it was a first year of real success in Zach Bond's career. But his skill set translates to exactly what GMs and coaches and teams look for inside middle linebackers. His coverage skills, his sideline to sideline speed to get out there and cover a running back, whatnot. Still a great tackler, but ability to blitz as well. So he expects that to be the top priority. He expects Zach Bond to stay. But if they can't get him in that $11 to $13 million a year range, that there's a chance that Zach Bond may go. Hence why the Eagles are interviewing some of the top linebackers at the Combine this week. The next name on his list, and I was shocked when he said this, that he actually has very high expectations that Josh Sweat actually does return. And it's funny because one other Eagles content creator shared a picture of a tweet of, their Instagram post or Twitter post about, Josh Sweat leaving. And Josh Sweat responded to it saying, what? Like, Josh Sweat wants to stay here. Josh Sweat might expect to stay here. And honestly, there's not a lot of free agent defensive end edge rushers right now. But after Khalil Mack gets cut, we're going to get into his thoughts on Myles Garrett in a second. The Bosa boys, one or both might go. There might be, several big names available. A Harold Landry might become available very soon. That Josh Sweat might be the 6th or 7th best edge available when all things are said and done. And nobody wanted Josh Sweat last offseason. And he came back here on a cheap prove-it deal. So there is a serious opportunity for Josh Sweat to remain in Philadelphia. And I never thought of it that way. So I thought that was really good. I asked him, Chris Franklin, about Mekhi Becton and how I'm very high on bringing him back. And he talked about how it's very important to keep that continuity on the offensive line. And it'll only get better. It was his first year playing guard. And, he puts Bond very highly likely to come back and Becton right there with him. So that's it. He wrote off Milton Williams, said Milton Williams is as good as gone. But Mekhi Becton, Josh Sweat, there's a series. I asked him, I'm like, everyone in Eagles Nation will be shocked and upset if Becton and Sweat are the two that stay and Bond leaves. But he said there's a high likelihood that that's a very possibility, if not all three of them, and we just lose Milton Williams. So it was very interesting. I asked him about, Darius Slay, Dallas Goedert, and other Eagles players that may be cut, have their contracts restructured, et cetera, et cetera. And he came, first and foremost, he came down to Darius Slay, that it all depends on what kind of a discount he's willing to take at his age. Even though he played at a high level, the Eagles have invested a lot in the cornerback position. So it depends on whether Darius Slay wants to stay one more year here, run it back, chance for another Super Bowl, or take one final big payday. Same thing goes with Isaiah Rodgers. He expects Dallas Goedert, who I think Dallas Goedert might get traded this offseason. But Dallas Goedert should be back just on a different deal, a restructured deal. That's what he expects there. With the draft itself, I asked him what he thinks how he's going to do. And he was very honestly, candid about the fact that this is going to be one of those drafts where we don't see a big move happen like A.J. Brown before the draft starts. This is going to be one of those drafts where the Eagles and Howie Roseman wait and see. He's not locked in on one player, but as the draft unfolds, and we've got the 32nd pick, the last pick of the first round, that it might be 11 o'clock at night before we know of a trade out of the first round, a trade up, whatnot. He's got a lot of guys. There's a lot of options on the defensive line, the offensive line, in several positions. So it's going to be a wait and see approach for Howie this year. He doesn't think it'll be an offensive lineman. It'll more than likely be defensive tackle or edge rusher, but that also will be dictated on how free agency goes. So there's a lot of fluid stuff right now. And as the combine unfolds and we learn more and more about some of the players, and someone like Abdul Carter, potentially the best player in the draft, he's got a stress fracture in his foot. He might not be the number 1 or 2 overall pick anymore. I know Eagles fans think that this is Howie Roseman's opportunity to pounce on him. It's like almost impossible for Howie to move up high enough to get him. But it's one of those things that as the combine unfolds, as free agency unfolds, Howie Roseman is in a great position where he doesn't need to, be too aggressive too quickly. And that's why Howie Roseman is preaching patience on a regular basis. You got teams like the Patriots in Washington with massive amounts of cap space. The Eagles got $22 million before any restructures, any, cuts or anything like that out of the $279 million cap hit. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Howie Roseman, he lays in the weeds and he waits to pounce on each opportunity. So I thought it was a very great and very insightful 35-minute interview with Chris Franklin. I'd love you guys to hear the whole thing. So if you want, down below, click the link to my YouTube channel, the STT Sports Network. Subscribe to the channel, and you can catch the full interview there. I think I summed it up pretty well, but, you might get a little bit more. Plus, we talked about a little bit of Gene Hackman, who tragically passed away this past, a couple days ago. So, shout out to Gene Hackman, Coach McGinty, one of the best football coaches ever to grace our big screen movie screens, guys. This is the Eagles Checkdown. It's Friday. Everybody have a great weekend. Like, share, subscribe, do your thing. Tune in to Trending in the AM Friday, my first live mock draft on the show for the year. We're going to do that kind of with a pre-combine kind of philosophy, where you guys watching the show will get to pick who we pick, and we'll see how that goes. But everybody have a fantastic weekend. Go Birds! And bubbles up.
This episode is brought to you by PDS Debt. Struggling with credit cards, personal loans, medical bills, or collections? It's time to stop worrying about that high-interest debt you've got piling up. PDS Debt can help you start saving money immediately. Their platform can analyze your unique situation and create a plan to get you out of debt. There's no minimum credit score required, and it takes 30 seconds to get your results. With PDS Debt, you'll take back control of your finances. Get a free debt analysis in just 30 seconds at pdsdebt.com/Spotify.
Clorox Sentiva smells like grapefruit. Cleans like Clorox. And feels like...
Okay, we could be here all day. Try Clorox Sentiva for a trusted clean with long-lasting freshness. Also available in lavender and coconut. Use as directed.
Este episodio es presentado por Honda. Descubra la nueva Honda Passport Trail Sport Todoterreno. La Passport más todoterreno que Honda haya imaginado jamás. Esta Passport cuenta con mayor altura al suelo, barras de techo en todas sus versiones y neumáticas especialmente diseñados para cualquier terreno. Además, disfruta todos tus viajes con el control de clima de 3 zonas, techo panorámico y opciones como asientos delanteros con calefacción y ventilación. Conoce más en honda.com/Passport.
Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why MyLowe's Rewards is free to join. As a member, you earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases, get exclusive free gifts, and earn free shipping at Silver Key status, all on top of weekly member-only deals. Don't wait. Join MyLowe's Rewards for free today and start saving more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
This episode is brought to you by Coffee Mate. After watching this season of the HBO's original series, The White Lotus, this is the tropical getaway I needed. One more pina colada, please.
Hey, you're not on mute.
Oh, I thought I was in paradise. Turns out it was my Coffee Mate. Coffee Mate pina colada and Thai iced coffee flavored creamers. Inspired by the newest season of HBO's original series, The White Lotus. For the love of coffee. Try now.